need to have this curiosity to see what is out there, what can I learn. Curiosity, humility, and being a generalist, I think, is what you need to lead a sustainability transformation. Yes, that's an excellent question. I think many businesses, if you look behind the brand, are actually much more complex in legal structure or in geographical spread than you would imagine. So I think for many businesses, it is all about how do you truly engage stakeholders, whether those stakeholders are like business partners, they are your supply chain, or they are, for example, like in the case of hospitality, real estate and asset owners. So this is a global network of stakeholders we need to bring on a path to net zero and net positive to go beyond that. And as you can read in many important works, but not in the least the book by my hero, Paul Polman, Net Positive, it is really about creating that system change. So I think it's about thinking big, having a vision, and being bold in your outreach. So that is how you create sustainability at scale. And then, of course, we need to think about financing, and we need to think about pioneering. Well, there are different ways in which you can actually reduce your environmental impact. What we have been practicing is always in our transition to net zero by 2050, based on targets that are based in science. That's very important, that we don't just go out with anything, but that we are anchoring this in the international COP process. So that is what we did. So what is important in that is that we work on green buildings, green energy, and green operations. If I start with green operations, that is having the everyday habits to be smart in your work life and frankly also in your private life about reducing your environmental impact. And we're doing that with engagement campaigns that we call Move to Zero. We're actually in the middle of this. We gamify our approach and we engage our 75,000 team members around the world in a successful way to inspire and motivate them. And you can see that our LinkedIn are coloring green right now. The second thing is about green energy. Green energy is the smartest and fastest way to decarbonize rapidly. Of course, the green energy landscape, by that I mean the renewable energy landscape, is different in different countries around the world. What is possible in, let's say, the European zone, which is technically called the AIB zone, is different than what is possible in India or what is possible in China or what you can do in Africa. So those solutions vary between what you can do on site and what you can do in terms of procuring renewable energy. And then the last one, green buildings, is an essential one. In my world as a hospitality leader, that is through stakeholders who are the asset owners of the building. So it's a lot of engagement with the real estate world, the commercial real estate world. And the thing to do there is to realize that actually a lot of it is how do we convert buildings in an intelligent way on this transition to net zero. And I'm sure many of the listeners know that 80% of the buildings that have to decarbonize fully by 2050 are already built. So that means that we need to look at what can we do in a conversion scenario. And then that could be a light conversion, light rebranding, or a full conversion of a building. And these things can be done. So we have proven that quite, let's say, classic hotel buildings can actually be turned into something very close to a net zero hotel. And we're actually about to launch an industry-wide innovation around proving that net zero can be done for converted hotel buildings. Personally, I think, first of all, you need to understand the business. If you want to be an impactful sustainability leader, you need to understand the business you're in and the business that your key stakeholders are in. It's all about how do you speak their language and how do you understand, as a generalist, the business priorities of your own business and your key stakeholders' businesses. So that is a key thing. Then the second thing is, of course, we learn every day. In the field of sustainability, there has been a massive transformation and specialization in, let's say, the last 10 years, to say it roughly. So the field is coming up constantly with new compliance requirements, new regulatory requirements, which are essential in terms of transparency, but also new technological context. I mean, if you talk about what is possible in the decarbonization of buildings, if you look at new building materials, circularity in FF&E, in the way you equip hotel rooms, if you look at new energy mechanisms of decentralized renewable energy, all these things are innovating and changing. And so you need to have this curiosity to see what is out there, what can I learn. Curiosity, humility, and being a generalist, I think, is what you need to lead a sustainability transformation.